I bet you always wondered what it was that got you to be in this relationship. Like, what happened? Because when I met you, you really didn't want like a serious relationship.
That's true. I really did.
Yeah. But I'm going to tell you what it was. You know I'm going to sing since I have a mic in my hand.
I had a feeling that was why you had the mic in your hand.
But you know what I did? I put a spell on you. Yeah. You know why? Because you're mine. Yeah. I put a spell on him. Yes, I did now. And he better listen to everything I say. Yes, yes, he do. Like, he better make his bed, take the laundry in, don't argue, and make sure that I'm always right. Why I put a spell on you. And I can't stand you running around playing the field, so I put a spell on you.
Well, your spell definitely worked because I don't play the field, but in terms of making my bed and the other things, your spell was a little weak, but I'm still here.
You're still here.
It was a spell that worked for over 30 years.
You make your bed sometimes.
I've gotten better.
Yes,
I've gotten better. The spell is gaining power over time, Hassan. So welcome back, and we are Epstein and Hassan, also known as the Black and the Jew. And welcome to our show, Dirty Truth-Tellers. Hassan, what do you have for us this evening?
Well, like most of us, not everyone, I listened to the debate. And when Kamala Harris, I want to say her name correctly.
Senator Harris.
Senator Harris, yes. Senator Harris. When she was on, she did a powerful speech, a powerful presentation, very strong, very confident. So the next day she was getting all her praise. I was listening. But I noticed a few of the women, they were like, yeah, she was great, but, I have my white sisters, but I just want to say it. A few of them were like, well, she wasn't really angry enough. I wanted her to be a little more anger, like to go in there and get it. Well, let me express something to America, okay? We all know what the myth is that black women are angry. When you think of a black woman, you think of anger. And let's get real, the darker we are, the more angry we are. So here she is, a black woman in a position of power, and everybody wanted her to get more angry. But, the thing is, she was a wise woman because she knows what America thinks about black women. And she knows all they needed to see her do was go like this, when that look, and they would have been too angry, too emotional. So she sat there very calmly. Now inside her, she was probably going, this motherfucker shit that fly on your motherfucking head. She didn't, because she is wisdom. Now see, we have to be clear about what we want. Because we say we wanted her to be a little more angry. You really don't want an angry black woman. I mean, how comfortable are we with Angela Davis? And Azealia Banks, we can't deal with her. So, you know what? I'm like her. We had to learn to use wisdom. When we put ourselves in these positions, you're going to be in a position of power. In a capitalist system, you got to play the game the way they play it.
Yes, I agree with you.
Yes.
Because I'm not a big fan of Senator Harris about her politics.
Absolutely.
But I thought that during the debate with Pence, she did a really disciplined job.
Absolutely.
She showed discipline. She came in, and it was very clear that she was not going to, take his bait. She was going to show a side of herself
Restraint.
That wasn't going to scare the shit out of America too much.
Yeah, because you were looking to see.
You know how we get just when a bunch of black females come on the subway. You know how everybody gets really backs everybody up.
Yeah.
So Harris decided that she was going to play it really smart and very disciplined, which I give her a lot of credit for because that was very, very smart. See, me on the other hand,
oh please, you would have been out of your mind.
I've had many of you probably don't know, but I'm a Buddhist. I practice Buddhism. And in Buddhism, we're always taught that anger is the most destructive emotion.
Yes.
And that it's actually a delusion.
Go ahead.
We lost our photo, though.
No, we're still on. We're still on.
Oh, there we are. Okay, we're back.
You got all nervous.
I got nervous. I didn't know. This is very new to me, all this technology. So as I was saying, I'm a Buddhist, and anger is a delusion. That anger clouds your mind. We're always taught that that anger is actually very destructive. But inside, since Trump's been president, I have been having this internal war because, for example, like when that fly flew on Pence's head. By the way, that was beautiful.
You would have had to say something.
No.
You would have.
What
said
I
something.
wanted Harris to do was to swipe the fly off his head.
Yeah.
See, I had a different thing because Pence is a very he's a very disgusting man. He is the world's biggest ass kisser. This is supposed to be a religious man. He's supposed to be a very religious man, and for 4 years, all he does is get on his hands and knees and kisses Trump's big fat white ass. So me, being a kind of kinky white guy, I would have really was hoping that at a certain point, Senator Harris would have swiped that thing off his head, get him down on his hands and knees on all fours, strapped on a dildo.
Okay, well, wait. What are you talking about? Let's stay with the subject.
Oh, right. I'm just telling you what I was thinking.
No,
I
don't know how you got all of that.
Because no, that's what I was hoping for.
No, that she's not about that. She might do that at home, but she's not going to let you.
Well, she's married to a Jewish guy, so there's some black Jew love going on there.
Yeah.
He might be the first. What do you call it? Like the first man, because there's never been a woman as vice president. I don't know if the vice president's partner, I guess, is the second. The second woman and now the second man. So my point being that I thought Harris showed tremendous restraint, Hassan, because it's all such phony shit. Like everything is so phony. Why can't they ever just tell the truth? They ask them a question, they never answer the question.
Never answer. See, my mother would have beat my ass if when my mother asked me a question, where were you at 7 o'clock? She didn't want to hear nothing about otherwise that where you were. This new judge that they're...
No, that's like the judge thing. We're recording it during the hearing.
She don't answer nothing.
Every question they ask her, she says that she can't answer that question.
Well, then,
like she's never had a thought. She's never had a thought about abortion or
nothing.
She's never had a thought in her life.
Nothing.
So my point is, why bother? Why bother with these hearings? Since no one ever asks a question and it's just showboating, why bother? And that's the whole thing about American politics. It's a total bullshit. I know that you can watch a lot of MS, but you don't want to hear too much politics. But the truth of the matter is America is a nation built on lies. America is a nation that wants amnesia. Like black people have been treated for 400 years in this country unbelievably shit. Beyond belief what's happened to black people and Native American people. But a black woman, she can't come on and show any anger.
Like, why shouldn't we be able to express that? And
why aren't you right to be angry? You don't think you have a right to be angry? I mean,
it's like just it's almost like it gets thrown against you if you are that way. And like he said, we're Buddhists, so we have to really work on that and really look at how is that anger being beneficial to myself and to others. However, that does not mean that you cannot call out injustice. That does not mean you can't call out a situation is not correct.
See, what Buddhists are saying
Something's going on
that
wrong.
you have to, it's not a good idea to repress your anger.
No.
Because then it just festers. So the Buddhist concept is that you transform your anger and you transform it into wisdom and you use your mind in a very different way. Because when you're angry, you're actually not very effective. You are you're making decisions and you're saying things that aren't.
He tried to bait her.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He was constantly trying to bait her by never, he wouldn't stop. Like the buzzer or whatever, he's supposed to stop, but he carries on.
I would have just muted that dude.
See, that's how we are in an argument, by the way. I never shut the fuck up.
No, he never does.
I'm sort of the Mike Pence of Greenwich Village.
He keeps repeating the same issue over and over. It's like, okay, I heard it 15 times.
But I would knock the fly off my head. If there was a fly on my head, I would definitely knock it off, Hassan.
I don't think he knew.
No, he knew the fly. How could you not know there's a fly in your head?
How did he see the fly, Steve? It's on his head. He didn't know.
You don't think he felt it?
No, did you see his hair? It was so much hairspray on there, or either that wasn't real. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on with that guy. I actually don't know. And he's really dangerous. You know, a lot of people have been praying, and that's the other thing about the last. You know, when you hear about some of these evil people who won't wear masks and they do all this bad behavior, and then they get COVID. You know, you don't want to, as a Buddhist or even as a human being, you don't want to wish anybody to suffer. So this internal thing is going on. Should I be happy that they got the COVID? Shouldn't I be happy? Well, somebody's got to get the COVID. You know, maybe, but you have to fight all these things.
Oh, there's also a new thing going on. And you can write in the comments, tell us what you think. But we've been reading, you know, people say, you know, I can be friends with someone who doesn't have my political view, who doesn't have my values. You know, if you and I don't like Pepsi, if I don't like Pepsi and you like Coca-Cola, if you don't like herbal tea, I can handle that. But I'm just saying for myself, there is a limit. When it comes to injustice of people and their suffering, I don't have a lot of space or room.
You know, like that's the thing. Like,
Sorry,
you know, I always
don't.
wondered, like, what was going on in Germany before World War II when the Nazis, you know, like the people were just living. And what I found out is that over the last 4 years, I actually don't really want to be your friend if I find out that you're a fascist, racist, anti-Semite. You know, you might be a really nice person to go bowling with, but I'd rather bowl with somebody else.
Sorry.
And maybe I'm being, again, you know, I want to love all human beings, but I have my,
we don't wish you any harm. It's not about that, but we don't need to have brunch.
No brunch, no Nazi brunches.
No,
you know, I'm not into the whole Nazi brunch thing.
So let's move on.
Although Nazis did have very sexy outfits. If you want to give it to them,
the leather boots,
the whole Nazi
I'd rather wear rubber boots.
But yes. So Hassan, here's our book. Once again, what you can and cannot say.
You need to get this book. I'm telling you.
During interracial sex.
Yes.
The reviews keep coming in. The reviews are unbelievably.
You can get it on Amazon.
Great.
As much as we hated being there.
See, our original plan was to, you know, have books and sell them at our show when we would have an opportunity to sell. But you know, since that may never happen again. We now have to do it as a, what do they call them? Ebook.
Ebook.
Right? So I never saw one of these things in my life, but I'm a rebel. You know, I
like the physical book.
I miss payphones. I don't like any of the technology, although we couldn't do this without technology.
No,
so I guess, like in Buddhism, they say nothing is inherently good or bad. It's the mind that makes, technology isn't bad from its own side. But at the same time, technology has given us like nuclear bombs and stuff like that. So I'm voting technology's been pretty bad. Even though some people might, you know, disagree. But this book is available, and we decided that we would give you excerpts from the book. We're not going to, you know, these are all things that are in the book. So this is the chapters that we wrote when we decided to get married. We decided that we were going to throw our own wedding, and we were only going to invite people to our wedding that we really wanted there, including family. So this is when Hassan will start and read her excerpt when she told her mother and her aunt that she was marrying me. So Hassan?
And I just want to say that that's a very challenging thing to anyone who's thinking about getting married. And the thing is that we're not telling you not to throw your own wedding, but as soon as you accept a check or money from your family, it is no longer your wedding. So you can't say a damn thing when they want to invite the relative you don't know or expand that guest list to 100 or change the date. They're giving you the money. So you got to think about that.
You got to remember, like when Princess died, she took all that money. She had a gown that was like 50 miles long, trumpeters and stuff, and then a few years into the marriage, she decides that she's going to fuck this Arab guy, and to do that to the queen, don't drive through a tunnel.
Never.
That's just my suggestion.
No, take a detour.
Take a detour. Or a train or something like that. So Hassan, would you like to, this is Hassan telling her mother and her aunt.
Okay. I remember when I told my mother I was getting married. She was sitting in the living room with my Aunt Easter, Naima's mother, Ann. Thank you, Jesus. I'm so blessed. I've always dreamt of my oldest daughter getting married in Mount Zion Baptist Church. Amen. Now, I know Steve is Jewish, and you don't have to worry about that. I'll talk to the pastor, Reverend Bush, and I'll ask about having a rabbi say a few words on the pulpit. My Aunt Easter. That's right. God got to get the first invite to this wedding for it to be a real wedding. Otherwise, if it ain't in his eyes, it ain't real. If it ain't in his house, it ain't real. Mount Zion Baptist Church is where this wedding should be. Okay, here it goes. I took a deep breath and I told them, Mommy, on Easter, we've decided to get our papers from City Hall and have a great party. We're going to be married by a lesbian rebirther astrologer who has the license to marry us in New York State. My mother. Well, what about God? A rebirther? Why didn't you just get it right the first time you was born? I got my part right. I don't know what happened to you. On Easter, a lesbian. Well, what happened to God? My mother. Look, these ain't my rules. These are God's rules, and I don't question. I just follow. You should be married in a church in the eyes of God, not a rebirthing lesbian. They both moaned and groaned at the same time, looked at the picture on the wall in our living room. It was Martin Luther King, Jesus, and Kennedy. I always hated that picture. Naima. Mommy, I love you, and Daddy, and on Easter, I love you very much. Steve and I would like you to be there with us to celebrate our marriage. However, we're not going to get married in a church by a pastor or a rabbi. This is our wedding, and we're going to do it the Black Jew love way. My mother, Miss Ann. Look, Naima, since you were a little girl, you always did things your own way, and I guess your wedding isn't going to be any different. Jesus, Lord help me. Naima, we're going to pay for our own wedding, so you and Daddy don't need to worry about that. All you have to do is come and enjoy. And I want you both to know I'm not going to wear white. They were both invited, and I didn't wear a white dress.
She's so proud of that. That's like the thing that you're so proud that you didn't wear white. You couldn't wait for me to get that white dress
please.
so I could
I got married. I was almost
100 years
citizen.
old. Yeah. All right, so this is me talking to my aunt and uncle. So my Uncle Jaime, he starts out by saying, Steve, I want you to know what Hitler could not do to the Jews, your generation is doing. All this intermarriage will mean the death of the Jews. This was my Uncle Jaime's response when I informed him that I was getting married. He was the oldest member of the family and claimed he was the family spokesman and that I was a self-hating Jew. Plus, he said, you're marrying a Schwarze, an authentic one. She's not even light-skinned. She's so dark. If you're going to marry a Schwarze, you find a light-skinned one. Jaime went further. I want you to know I'm not a racist, but marrying a colored is just not right. And I'm not afraid to tell you so. You know I'm not a bullshitter. Steve, I'm not only speaking for the family, but for all Jewish people around the world. So my uncle just told me that I was worse than Hitler. And he has the authority to say this and speak for all the Jews. The joke is that my uncle was not a religious man at all. He attended a Reformed temple, and on the high holidays, he was not even a guaranteed attender. He was not kosher, he was not a Sabbath observer. However, he was a cultural Brooklyn Jew who grew up in the Jewish ghetto of Brownsville, Brooklyn. He experienced a lot of anti-Semitism, and he detested the Goyim, those are the Christians, and the Schwarzes, those are the blacks. I remember during high school, I confronted him when he called my friend a colored. His response, what's wrong with colored? Trust me, there's a lot worse things I can call them, so don't lecture me. Anyway, they keep changing their name. You never know what they want you to call them. They used to like colored. Why don't you just call them by their first names, Jaime? Now, my aunt, Florence, was more concerned about where she was going to sit at the wedding. She always called me Shlomo, who was her uncle I was named after. She says, Shlomo, I was insulted and embarrassed greatly by my disrespectful niece Sandy sitting me near the band at her wedding after the wedding gift I gave her. I will never forgive her. Okay, here we go again, I'm thinking. My aunt has told this story to my parents for years. My cousin Sandy's father achieved the American dream. He became a very wealthy guy selling insurance. He spent 50 grand on her wedding at the top Jewish catering hall on Long Island at the time, Florence. All I deserved was a seat at table 1 with the family. And what did I get? A table near the band. Why not put me in the bathroom? My Aunt Florence held grudges for many years with many family members about where she was seated at weddings and bar mitzvahs. She wanted a guarantee from me that I would let her see the seating arrangements before anyone else so she could eliminate any conflicts before the night of the party. However, sitting far from the band was her top priority, and she explained why. I was marrying a Schwarzer, and she hated soul, rhythm and blues, jazz, any music black people created. She called it jungle music. She said she didn't mind Johnny Mathis. She said he was sophisticated and well-being. She said, Shlomo, I love you like you're my own son. And you know I'm not racist. But I would have preferred a nice Jewish girl as my niece. We didn't invite them. Because as Hassan said, we decided to throw our own wedding. The whole point of throwing our own wedding was that we could invite the people that loved us. We wanted this to be a loving thing. And so many weddings become so... They ruin people's eventual marriage because there's so much tension and so much pressure at the wedding itself.
Yes.
So this is something that we have been recommending in Black Jew Love Technology, which is our technology that will help you have a great marriage, a great relationship. Throw your own wedding, you know?
And invite people who you really like and you want in your life.
Don't fall for the family pressure.
And if you take the check, though, you can't really argue with any decision anyone else. Then it's like the ball is not in your court.
Now, I don't want to give away too much of the book, but the book is an illustrated book, and the brilliant Marianne Petit actually drew my Aunt Florence in the bathroom. It's one of the funniest photos in the book.
Yeah.
It's a classic photo. I would buy the book. I mean, just that photo. That's not a photo.
Right.
Just the you know,
and the name of the book is What You Can and Cannot Say During Interracial.
Right. So that was an excerpt from the book.
Yes.
And so we called this show Dirty Truth Tellers because that's what we are. We're Dirty Truth Tellers. And each week we're going to have a special guest who comes on to be expressing their view. And today, why don't you take it further, Hassan?
And we're not asking you to agree with the view. We're just opening up different points of views for you. And today we're going to have a great sports announcer. His name is Stevie Sports. And he has been a part of sports for, oh my gosh, Stevie, welcome.
Welcome, it's good to see you, Hassan. I never seen this. I can see myself over there.
Okay, but you can't stay just stuck on yourself.
I'm excited to see this. Look at that.
You gotta.
Oh yes, I'm talking to you.
You're talking to me.
But I've never seen this.
I know.
I've never been on the internet before. This is wonderful.
Really?
Yes, I'm very excited. I'm so excited.
Oh,
I got my hat. I'm like a hip hop guy. It's like
no, you're not hip hop.
I'm like a hip hop guy. It's unbelievable. This is so exciting. I'm really excited.
Well,
nice
I'm happy to have
good to
you.
see you.
Thank you.
I'm here as the sports man. I've been writing sports for over 50 years in New York City. I covered them all: boxing, football, basketball, baseball.
What's your favorite?
My favorite sport? Horse racing. I love a good horse race.
Are you serious?
I love that. It's a very
that.
exciting thing to see a horse.
How do you choose a horse when you're there?
What do you mean by choose the horse? Who do I bet on?
Yes.
I'm a reporter.
So
I don't bet. I don't bet. I just look at a horse.
You see, I tried to trick you.
You tried to trick me, but I'd like to look at a horse. It's nothing sexual, although even black men are impressed. But I myself don't. I don't go there. I don't go there.
Okay.
Yes.
I can't believe you went there.
I went there, but that's what am I going to do? I had to go somewhere.
Okay, so I want to ask you a few questions.
Certainly, I'm a sports guy.
Okay, now we know LeBron James just won the championship. Okay.
Yes, he did. Just recently, he won his. I believe it's his 4th championship.
Right. Now, who do you think is a better player, LeBron or Michael Jordan?
I think that they were both great players at different eras. They're not exactly the same. Me personally, I think that LeBron, in the long run, might even be a better player than Michael Jordan.
Do you like the best?
I like Michael Jordan. I'm old. I remember Julius Erving. I remember Will Chamberlain. I remember a lot of greats. But my point about it is this. LeBron James, during this year, they were playing this bullshit kind of championship because of the coronavirus. They had all the guys in one area. And in the middle of this, in the middle of the playoffs, there was all the tension, the racial tension in America.
What'd you
Once
think of
again,
that?
I'm a person that. Let me get to the point here.
Okay.
So LeBron James decides that because of the unbelievable police abuse against black people in America,
Right.
he was threatening that he was going to cancel the playoffs. He had that much power.
Okay, let me ask you something, though, in that. Do you think the players would have followed him?
They would have followed him. What LeBron James says, everybody does. This guy has power. Okay. So he's going to do it. He makes it a big announcement.
Right.
The next day, this was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So then, out of nowhere, Barack Obama gets involved. Barack Obama, he was the first
Who
black...
Who else was involved? I heard
Michael Jordan was also involved.
Yes.
And they met with LeBron, and they convinced LeBron that he had this great platform now during the championship, and that he shouldn't cause a strike.
Where's your accent?
I'm losing my accent because I'm getting too emotional. Okay. Now, this is what I have to say. LeBron James, I don't blame him, man. He wants to win. They're athletes. But here's the big point. This was a great moment. This was a chance that he could have been like Muhammad Ali or Jim Brown or Bill Russell. Yeah. He could have stood up for his people, and not just his people. He could have made it would have been so powerful. Every American would see that workers have rights.
So what are you saying?
Let me finish. I'm too emotional.
Well, you gotta calm down.
Had LeBron James gone through with the strike, then other people that work for Amazon, that work for companies, could have seen that a union, if you gather together as a union, you can crush these rich motherfuckers.
Okay. You know what? You need to calm down a little bit because
I'm too emotional.
I know, but I have a couple more questions.
But let me finish. This is very important. Okay. If we don't have the other questions, we can move on. I've seen the other questions. Okay. This is better.
How did you see them?
I was peeking at your notes.
You shouldn't be doing that.
Let me tell you something. Obama convinced him not to do it. He said you have a better platform. But I think what he really was telling him is you're making a ton of money in your brand here.
Shut up.
You don't want to make Whitey too upset with you, and if you cause this strike, maybe they won't buy your products. Because that's the big problem today. These guys are making... LeBron James is worth hundreds of millions. Serena Williams is worth hundreds of millions. But they take money from corporations like Nike. They use slaves to make their products. But they didn't want that. I'm too radical. I'm an old Jew from the neighborhood. I'm an old radical guy. I believe in unions.
Okay, thank you.
Unions.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here.
Thank you. I got one more for you. One more.
Okay.
One more.
Yes.
What do you think about the fake fans in the audience?
The fake fans. I evade these fake fans.
I hate that look.
They had all make-believe cardboard people.
I hate that look.
They're bringing crowd noise in.
And you know how they try to make them diverse? Like,
they have
who
diverse.
are these people?
You know what? People aren't stupid. We know they're not real people.
Not real.
And suddenly a guy hits a home run, you're hearing a crowd noise. There's nobody in the ballpark.
So thank you, Stevie.
This makes me crazy, this stuff.
I know, but thank you. We'll have you back
again.
I
have a really bad stomach. Let me tell you, when
Stevie,
you're Jewish, this
Stevie,
kind of stuff kind of kills you.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, that's it?
So,
all right, thank you very much. It was such a great honor to be on this show.
You can't stop looking at
What a show. What a show.
Yes. So there you have Stevie Sports, okay? A little hyper, a little high-strung, but hey, he gives you the dirty truth.
Let me ask you a question, Hassan. How was my? I don't want to break the. Most people didn't probably realize that was.
You don't think they thought?
I don't think many people realized that. But I'm not an actor. Maybe people saw that I'm not an actor. But you were coaching me.
Yeah.
You told me to go for it.
Go for it, but you kept going in and out of the accent.
I lost my voice. I lost my voice.
Yeah, but I think you got the essence of the character.
I got the essence of what I was trying to do.
Yeah, but you have to slow your voice down a little bit.
All right, put that in the comments. If you want to comment, you want to rip me apart for my acting skills, you can do it.
But did he teach you anything?
Did I teach you anything? I mean, this is a really big thing. Had the NBA players gone on strike, that would have changed things in America. That would have been unbelievable.
It's very, very challenging to be radical today.
You can't be radical because everybody's worried about their brand.
Yeah.
See, the reason we can talk this much shit, and we're going to get worse and worse because we don't have a brand.
We don't have a damn brand.
We don't have a brand.
We don't have an agent. We don't have a manager.
Corporate America, they don't really, for some reason, they don't really like us.
They hate us.
We don't have a brand. Our brand, we can say whatever we want because, we're in this little tiny apartment, probably till the day we die now, and we don't have a brand. Yeah. If you want to help us have a brand and you spread the word about this show, that would be very helpful.
Yes.
But just in case you don't, what can we do?
And we'll be back next week.
We'll be back next week. But before we go, I just want to tell everybody, because this is important. I love this woman. And we're in October right now. It's right near her birthday. This woman, let me tell you, let me just give her a kiss. She doesn't want me to mess with her makeup. But I wanted you see some interracial love, I even grab a titty for you. Whatever you want. I can't run for senator now because I did this.
No, you can't.
But we're Epstein and Hassan, the Black and the Jew. Thank you very much, and we hit it. 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes, we did it.
Bye.
We did it. Goodbye. Thank you, Jesus.
Even though you think that.
Oh, and now with the final review of the show, it's the Jackies.
Wow! Oh my God!
What the hell was that?
His acting is terrible.
I mean, he went from having a Jewish accent to sounding like he was Irish.
He's the worst actor
Oh my
in the
God, I
world.
never saw anything like that.
How does she deal
And he
with
kept
that?
looking at what you're doing an interview. You should look at the person you're
I'm not
speaking
in
to.
the interview. I don't have a
I'm
body.
saying when he's interviewing, he wouldn't even look at her.
I know, he's so bad.
Oh my God.
He's so bad that he's good, Jackie.
Okay.
We're the Jackies.
Yeah.